product, which is called the Astute range. This range, it's beautiful. Trust me, I've been using it for the last 2 years. Just to give you a bit of context, this is if you ever seen one of my contacts before, I've been sharing about a smart home system where I'm able to control my geyser system, and I'm also able to control all the systems that I have in my household. So with me here, let me show you the different Astute ranges that are available by CBI-electric. So the first one, this is the CBI Astute Smart Isolator. And then we also have the CBI Smart Plug. And lastly, we also have the CBI Astute Smart Controller. So basically here, don't look at this at face value. This is a beautiful product. This is something you really need, if not for yourself, but for your loved ones. You are able to integrate and also control your smart appliances in your household. With me, I'm being joined by a CBI-electric executive who will be joining me. His name is Dr. Andrew, and he will be giving us the back-end information. And the amazing part is that you do stand a chance to win this amazing hamper, which is something that I need to put out. You do stand a chance to win this amazing hamper, which is more than worth 2,000 Rand. So the trick is you need to stick around until the end and make sure that you are here until the end of the live so that I'm able to share with you the tips and tricks on how you can do the giveaway. So I'm gonna invite my guest in. I'm going to invite my guest in. So please give me a thumbs up if you are able to hear me. Please, may you kindly give me a thumbs up if you are able to hear me so that I know I'm in the right track. For those who are currently joining, we are doing a Smart Live conversation series. This is the last and final part. I am being joined by Dr. Andrew. I'm going to invite Dr. Andrew right now. Please give me a thumbs up if you are able to. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So do stick around until the end, and I will be giving away this amazing hamper, which is worth 2,000 Rand. I know most of you have always wondered, how do I control my geyser system? How do I control my sprinkler system? You are able to control it just in the tip of your cell phone. Just using your cell phone, you are able to control all of your appliances in your household. So I'm inviting my guest right now. His name is Dr. that we need to learn. Dr. Andrew, good evening.
Good evening, Dee. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, all right, thank you.
No, I'm good. So I'm so excited about this. And for those who are currently joining us, this is Dr. Andrew. He's an exec at CBI. He's an engineering professional, and he will be giving us all the information that we need. He'll be giving us all the behind the scenes that we need, all the information that is required for us to understand how the CBI Astute range actually works. So please also remember to tap the screen so that we can share this live with a lot of people who will be able to find this information helpful as well. Dr. Andrew, we've been doing this for the last 3 sessions, and it's just been a beautiful journey. I just wanted to just an overall chat about the Astute range. I know this is something that you're very passionate about. It's something that you're really, really passionate about. I just wanted to, beyond the Astute range, about it being just a switching and scheduling and also the convenience that it offers. So can you share with us exactly what are these appliances capable of? I'll be showing our audience exactly the range that we're talking about. So please share with us exactly what is it that the Astute range is capable of.
So it's about a couple of things. So that is the ASC, that's the smart controller. So
Yes.
it's able to, or it's designed to go into your distribution board. And that doesn't matter whether it's your main distribution board or sub-distribution board. And it's to control any main circuit that you have around that. So what you'll notice as well is it's a good current rating. So you're able to run some heavy loads off it and control those loads. And I'm hoping later on we'll get into some more conversations around the sort of the wherewithal of what we can actually do with it.
Yes. No, that's pretty amazing. So I want us to talk about the automation side of things. I know all of the different appliances, the devices, they are able to do smart automation, which is basically the back end of having a smart home. You need to be able to automate. Can you please share with us in terms of, the smart automation, what are some of the examples that these devices, what is it that they offer basically?
So I want to start off with all of them being able to offer the same things. So they've all got the same heart behind them, but we will apply them differently. So let's just talk about the controller. You'll notice we don't have a light switch. There's a reason behind that. But the controller is the one which gives us a lot of flexibility because it controls major circuits in your house. And the nice thing with the automations is it's an IoT device. So for those who don't know, IoT is Internet of Things. It's connected to the web. And the nice thing with that is it means that we can use information from the web to control what it does when it does it. So it's no longer just a timer that you set and you forget, and at some stage the time will drift and it will forget about this, and it's summer and it's winter. That doesn't hold for this. The ability to go to the web and say, I'm living in Joburg, please set my sunset and sunrise time, and it does that automatically and will follow the season. So during summer, obviously, it will turn things on much, much late in the evening, turn things off much, much early in the morning, but it's all connected through the sunrise and sunset time of Johannesburg.
Oh, perfect. So basically, it's all about, efficiency. So it's about, convenience and also efficiency as well. Just a follow-up question on that. I just wanted to ask, with the Astute range, can you also share with us in terms of how am I able, as a user, if someone who has this amazing range, this is the Astute Smart controller, what sort of notification back end am I able to have on this? How am I able to save electricity and also time with the notification that the app offers as well?
Okay, so on the one side, we're saying we can speak to the web and we can get an idea of, let's say, what the temperature is doing or what the weather is doing. But on the notification side, what's beautiful about this is that we are able to say, in the event that something should happen, tell me about it. And every product will do that. So let's say you've got a plug that you don't want someone to operate. And as soon as that plug starts drawing current, it will notify me saying, hey, that plug in the lounge is someone's using it. And now you can either turn it off yourself or you can then action something. On the other side, and the nice one, which I really like, is the geyser side of things. So, it's prudent to be able to turn your geyser on and off, not just leave your geyser running all day and all night. Now, the thing with that is you connect it to either the smart isolator or to the Astute controller. And you say, listen, start to heat up in the morning. Let's call it 5 o'clock. Start to heat up. But once the product is switched off, so once your thermostat and your geyser stops drawing current, Astute device, tell me. And it will send you a notification saying, effectively, your geyser is warm. And then you can decide what you want to do, but you could fundamentally use that almost as an alarm, because the geyser will go on, and then when the signal comes in, okay, it's great, it's time to get out of bed because my water is warm.
Yeah. You mentioned, with the example of the geyser, I just wanted to dive deep into that. So just for the audience, you do stand a chance to win an amazing hamper, which is sponsored by CBI-electric. So this hamper is worth 2,000 Rand. So the trick is just for you to stick around until the end so that I'm able to share with you the terms and conditions of this amazing giveaway. Back to our conversation, Dr. Andrew, you spoke about a geyser. Just to show the audience, basically, this is to control your geyser in a smart way. You do it in two ways. You can either do it with a normal smart isolator. I know most of you are familiar with a normal regular isolator, but this is a smart isolator where you're able to control, have peace of mind, basically, save time and also save your energy consumption using a smart isolator. The other option, you can go on the route of the smart controller. This is the other alternative. So this is the unit, the product that you need to get. And just to add on to that, before we jump into the next conversation, Dr. Andrew, the pricing point of it, all of these appliances are available in the different retailers, and you are able to purchase this yourself. And this is less than 700 Rands per unit. So this will give you so much peace of mind, and you are able to control your geyser system, your lights in the household, and also your pool pump as well. So that's an amazing integration. Back to our conversation, Dr. Andrew, I wanted to talk about, the notifications and the automations that range in the thing, in the range. I want to ask you, how much, the notification, how much do they make a difference in terms of, our everyday routine? Am I able to literally, so basically I have full control of my energy consumption. So basically I can say, for this month, I want to consume X amount of current. Is that the case, Dr. Andrew?
So you can't limit the total current consumption, but you can limit a point of use current. So let's look at the notifications and some of the advantages of those notifications. I'm going to give you two scenarios here. One I've already spoken about with the geyser and when it's hot, send me a notification. But you can also use it if you need to control your home and you want to understand what's going on, but you're not there.
Yes.
So in the event that appliance should go on, or that, as I said, someone plugs something in that maybe you don't want plugged in. So maybe you're concerned about how much energy you're consuming, so you don't want someone to plug a heater in. And obviously, us coming out of winter, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's now that you don't want someone turning on an air conditioning unit unnecessarily. So that would be on the isolator side of things. And what you would look at here is that you can have it do one of two things with the smart notifications. Either just tell me and I'll decide what I'm going to do with it. So maybe a big load is being drawn by the ASP, so a heater's been plugged in, and maybe then you phone home and you say, listen, you know, either talk to the kids or talk to your wife and say, listen, what's going on? Why is this on? And from that, either you can get them to turn it off or unplug it. Or on the other side of that is you can automatically set. So you can get a notification saying the plug has been turned on and it's drawing a lot of current, but I've turned it off. And you can get a notification for both things. Actually, you can get it to be told that the current draw is high and that you've now turned it off. And that way you can at least monitor things and control. Because as you said, this is about energy management. But it's also about peace of mind. It's about automating things so that you don't have to be thinking about it. It just automatically happens. And the notifications just help you to kind of go, is this right or wrong? And then you can tweak your scenarios based on that and therefore gain greater control over everything.
You know, I just want to ask, with the different ranges, the Astute range, I want us to talk about the overall integration on how, as a user, am I allowed to control multiple appliances simultaneously when it comes to, you know, just managing the different devices? How do the Astute range benefit me when it comes to that?
Okay, so when you load them on, and I think it's very important that users understand this, that when you pair the devices to your app, right? So obviously this is all running a smartphone, it's all in an app. When you pair it, you can give the plugs, the ASP, the ASC, and the ASI names. And it's very useful to tell it what is the name associated with it, and then also which room is it in. So is it in the lounge? Is it in the bedroom? Is it in the kitchen? Where is this object actually located? You know, where is this device located? And the nice thing with this is now you can start to group things. So within the programming environment, and when I say programming, I'm talking this is smartphone type stuff. So I'm not expecting people to go out and write Python and etc. This is about just tapping your requirements. So you can say under the automations, I want when a scenario happens. So you can either set it up to happen automatically, or you can connect it to a button. So a single button press will activate something. And there you can define it like, in my case, I've got external lights. And when we had load shedding and there was a lot of that going on, at the end of that, what time does the power come back on? And it's very difficult to say when that power is going to come back on. But if I'm at home, I can then say, you know, the power's come back on, great. There's a button, I press the button, and all my outside lights come on. I don't have to go around switching light switches or anything else like this. And that's the advantage or the ability to group things. Which
That's
is great.
amazing. Oh no, that's amazing. So basically, just to summarize exactly what you said, you know, just to avoid unnecessary power surge, because it's becoming a bit of an electrical hazard, if I can call it that, where most of our appliances, when the power comes back, the appliances fuse. So for you to just explain to the audience based on how important it is to have, for example, this is the Astute Smart plug, to have a buffer like this. So let me call it a buffer. So this is your first line of defense, if I can call it that. Please may you explain further how having a smart plug like this can assist you when you have, you know, load reduction, and then the current comes back in a very What's the engineering word is it?
So it's usually a voltage transient.
Yes, yes.
So, so what we see with this is, and of course, your first line of defense is very simple. Go to your distribution board and turn everything off. But the practicality of that doesn't exist. No one gets up and does anything like that anymore.
Yeah.
But these guys will do that for you. So the nice thing with this, and again, like we said, you can group devices together. You can also group automations together. And so the nice thing with this is you say, fine, the power has returned. So for whatever reason, load reduction is the common flavor at the moment. Load reductions happen, the power comes back on, but you never want your appliances to access that power immediately because of these voltage transients that usually come through at the beginning of the restoration of power. And so what you can do is you can tell the Astute devices, when you see power back on your board, remember, so it's got its own electronics inside, but that's where it stops. You say, okay, you got voltage, but wait until that voltage is settled before you switch back on. So you can do two scenarios here. One is you can set a timer and say, okay, power's back on. In 5 minutes, turn the appliance back on. Okay, and usually, I mean, the network will normally stabilize within a minute, but 5 minutes is safer, and particularly if in the evening when everyone's home after work and you're going to start to cook and there's a lot of power draw on the network, that puts a lot of strain on the network once the power returns. And so what you want to do is delay the start. So you could in fact even delay your appliances, say, the plugs you need to turn on, but I'm going to turn them on at a staggered stage, which means, let's say the fridge comes on first, then the microwave, then finally right at the end the kettle can come on. And you can stagger it like that. Or you can say, all the lights need to come on straight away, but the geyser, actually I only want you to come on in half an hour. Let everyone settle down, let everything normalize, and then come on.
Based on your experience, Dr. Endo, I just want to add on to that. Just a quick one. If I have an Astute Smart plug in my household and I want to put a bit of few restrictions in the household, especially if I've plugged this in my television device, is it safe for me to just manually on and off my television device using the ASP? Is it safe, if I can call it that? Is it a safe way of doing it?
So it depends on the TV. Obviously, for the most part, you'd want to turn the TV off by its own remote. All right, because that's how it likes to power down.
Yeah.
So it's like your computer. Your computer doesn't like to just be unplugged, and when it unexpectedly dies, it doesn't like that either. So ideally, you don't want to do that, but it's not going to be catastrophic if it does. The bigger problem is usually turn on. But obviously, when the Astute device turns back and allows power back through the system, the TV itself is going to be in a standby position until such time as you activate the remote. So that would be the preferable way to do it. However, what is very nice with this is in the event that you see a surge coming through the system, so a voltage, more so a swell or a dip, so this is where you get an overvoltage. So typically your installation receives 230 volts. But if you get in the instance where it goes above, let's say, 240, you probably want to start protecting appliances. So you will set a limit in the device that says, when I see 240 volts, you know what, kill the power. And at the same time, you may want to do that on the bottom side. So when the power gets to, say, 195, you know what, kill the power, because those cause stress on the components inside your appliance. And so the nice thing with the Astute range is not only does it give you the functionality of the timing and the ability to control things, but it also provides a level of protection.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Andrew. For those who are currently who just joined us, we're talking about everything smart home integration and smart home tech. This is in collaboration with CBI-electric, and we're talking about the Astute range. This is a beautiful range that I personally think that every household needs to be exposed to this. This is something that you need. And you do stand a chance to win an amazing hamper. Let me show you the things that you stand a chance to win. But the trick is you have to stick around until the end of this live so that I can share with you the terms and conditions of this amazing giveaway. So these are all the amazing things that you are able. So this is not just a normal isolator. This is a smart isolator. This is you're able to control your geyser system right from the tip of your from your cell phone. If you are in Teveja or you're in Limpopo, you are able to control your geyser, just switching it on and off for your convenience. So this is all the amazing hamper that you do stand a chance to win. I hope you can see the amazing things that you do stand a chance to win. So this is everything that you do stand a chance to win. This is really worth it. If you don't win, it's okay. It's perfect. You are able to have this at many different retail stores. I know currently in South Africa, you can find this at Leroy Merlin, Builders Warehouse, Vortex, Buco. Who am I forgetting? Please leave in the comment section if there's any other stores that you are exposed to, which you've seen this amazing range. And if you do have any questions, please leave your comments down in the comment section, and then I'll be able to address them as well. Dr. Andrew, just a quick question. I wanted to talk about the sensitivity of the equipment. I know we've talked about the minimum and the maximum operating of the voltage. I wanted to talk about how does the automation assist in protecting. I know you've addressed the question where you're saying this is basically a safety net. So in an event where let me give you a practical example, where there's power outage and do I need to how do I make sure, let me rephrase my question. How do I make sure that my things are in order, if I can call it that? How do I make sure that I'm safe, if I can call it that? Do I need to have an understanding on how much current I need to, is coming through a specific device? Do I need to have that sort of understanding?
So you can, and maybe I'm going to answer your question in a slightly different manner, but okay. The advantage with the Astute range in general is it provides you that level of protection. And so we've spoken about a couple of ideas there. In an overvoltage or an undervoltage situation, you can also do it from a loading from a current perspective. So to give you an example about that, at home, I've got a pool. When the creepy crawly is running, it lands up often climbing to the surface and then sucking air. And the problem with that is a creepy sucking air puts air into the system. The motor works. It's not working hard, but there's nothing cooling it down. There's no water near it. And that obviously is a bad thing for a motor because a motor doesn't like to run too hot. And so with my ASC that I've got connected to the pool pump, I've got the ability for it to then send me a message and saying, listen, the power being consumed by the motor is a lot lower than what it normally is, which means it's not working very hard, but that generally means that there's no water in the system. Yeah. And so from that, I can then look at because through the app, you're able to look at what each device is consuming from a voltage, a current, and a power perspective. And with that, I can then make a decision what I want to do. On the other side of it is I can also set it up in such a way that when it drops below a threshold, so I've got a 750 watt motor, but if it goes below 500 watts, then turn off. And that gives the creepy often time to fall to the bottom of the pool and then turn back on 5 minutes later. And these are the kind of characteristics, again, going into, I particularly like the ASPs for this type of function. So yes, I can control when I switch my sensitive devices back on. So particularly after a load reduction or if there's been a fault in the system and I've lost power, I can make sure that when power is restored, that my appliances come on either in a staggered formation or in a delayed formation. But at the same time, I can then also, and this speaks more into the energy consumption and where you can save money, is, if something is on for a very long time, or let's call it a vacuum cleaner. A vacuum cleaner consumes quite a lot of power, and so potentially does a kettle. But if these things are on for a long time, you may say, hang on, why is that happening? And I don't want it on that often. So give me a warning or set a limit that, if it's drawing, let's call it 10 amps, and I don't want it to draw 10 amps, then switch off. And so by doing this, you're able to manage how you utilize power in your system, and then obviously either provide the convenience on the one side, protection of equipment on the other side, or cost saving.
Oh, that's amazing. Speaking of convenience, I think one of the things that people need to be aware of is that if you're running a business or you're a landlord or you have an Airbnb business, this is the future where you're able to do smart automation and you're able to set a current limit where you're able to minimize the amount of energy that is being used by a specific device. It's actually very helpful in an instance where let's just assume that you're running a short-term rental, which is an Airbnb, and you have the Astute smart plugs installed in your apartments. You are able to see if the person, let's just say for argument's sake, you know that the person has checked out and they've already left the apartment. But if you can see that on your app, you're still drawing current, you need to, that's one of the benefits that you need to be aware of, that clearly there's something, why is the Astute plug still drawing current? So it means there's something which is still plugged. So this is very beneficial for if you're running an Airbnb or if you are a landlord. And if you have a rental property where you have all inclusive, where you include your electricity and your water, this is actually very helpful. You are able to control the amount of current that has been used in that household. For those who currently joined us, we are talking about all things smart home and smart home integrations in collaboration with CBI-electric. And you do stand a chance to win an amazing hamper. And this is something that I've personally been using for the last 2 years. And trust me, it has saved a lot of arguments in my household, where, especially when it comes to the geyser, I think that's one of the core elements that most people struggle with the geyser, that they have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to on the geyser. And there's a lot of arguments in households. So if you don't want arguments in your household, I do recommend that you get yourself this amazing range. You can start off with the S2 Smart Isolator, or you can also do the S2 Smart Controller. This is it's a bonus, trust me. It's a bonus and it will give you so much peace of mind. And Dr. Andrew, just a cool question, just as I'm talking about geysers and everything. What's your recommendation based on if I want to get to start off, what is your recommendation if I want to start off with my journey of integrating a smart home? Should I be afraid, or is there any limitations that I need to be aware of?
So I want to say, if you have not embraced any technology in your life, and that particularly focuses on things like a smart, like a phone, a smartphone, then I would say be afraid, be very afraid. But for everyone else who's had some interaction with some technology, it's as simple as any of the other apps on your phone. Yes, you need to get the devices installed by a qualified electrician, but once it's all set up, there's no need to worry, there's no need to panic. Then the fun begins, and then you're able to turn around and say, what can I do next with it? And that's the beauty of it, is you can start small. So you get one or two devices, install them, see how they operate, see how they interact, and then slowly that will grow in time, because you'll find new uses and new sort of ideas of what you can do with the products. So that's what I really like about the system, is it's self-contained, but it's as easy as using any of your other apps, as easy as setting an alarm on your phone. You can do the same thing with your Astute devices. And that's what I really like about it. And then, of course, you don't have to go out and make your entire home smart. No one has the sort of money to be able to put that in straight away. So the nice thing is, you start with one device and you build up on a monthly basis, or on a weekly basis. You go and get a new one, and so you build. And from my personal preference, I usually start with a smart controller. Maybe it's because it was the first one I got, but at the same time, it's the one which has a lot of versatility, a lot of power, and it's an incredibly useful device. And then the next one that I particularly like is the plugs. It's a very close second. The ability for controlling dedicated loads, dedicated pieces of equipment, sensitive equipment in your house, I find that particularly useful. And then obviously the isolator has its value from controlling your geyser. It's a simple drop-in replacement of your existing isolator, and off you go. You've got all the functionality and the control in it.
Oh, perfect. And I hear through the grapevine that the Astute range is expanding, that there's amazing things that you are offering that are happening in the behind the scenes in the pipeline. Please, may you share with us the special announcement with our viewers, please?
So this is a special announcement just for your viewers. So I ask you to keep it to yourselves and don't tell anyone, as you're seeing it first here.
Yeah.
So we are launching a new product. If you can see this guy here, he looks very similar to what you've already shown, Dee.
Yes,
but
it looks similar to this.
it's very similar, but it's a little bit different. You'll notice these guys are red up here and black down here. And this is what we have deemed the ASPI. So it's a source identifier. And what it allows you to do, and particularly for any installation where you've got multiple power sources. So this could be the grid and a generator. This could be a grid and solar, battery. It could be solar and battery. It's all dependent on what environment you've got set up. But this guy will tell you what your system or where that power is coming from. So it's called an ASPI. This is probably one of the first beta products that was available, but we are currently manufacturing these guys, and they will be hitting the stores in the next couple of weeks. And so with this, it increases your flexibility, particularly around the automation side of things. So where you're trying to manage your energy consumption, where you've got knowledge that I've now lost power.
Yeah.
So when I say power here, I'm saying mains. You've lost mains, but now I'm onto backup. My backup only has a limited lifespan. And now you can look at your essentials and not essential loads, but instead of having to actually even split out your DB board, you could now get to the point where you keep your DB board as a standard setup. And what you then do is you use your smart controllers, your smart plugs and isolators to control your energy consumption off your alternative supply.
Yeah.
So this is going to be, it's going to change how you automate your home, how you automate your office. I'm very excited.
Oh, no, I'm also excited as well. Speaking of alternative power supply, there are people with solar systems. And I just saw one of the comment section that someone suggested they recently installed a solar system. How will the new ASPI, assist with, in overall managing and how to protect the solar batteries and also the other alternative, for example, inverters, for example?
So your ASPI is not going to protect. Your ASPI is about information.
Yes.
So the nice thing with this is it will protect the longevity of your solar system. And when I say that, you've only got a battery, which is, let's call it a 5 kilowatt hour battery. Now, basically what that means is I can run a 5 kilowatt load for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Right now, most homes in total will consume about 5 kilowatts, but on average will consume less than a kilowatt. So the expectation is I can run my installation for about 5 hours. But you know what? There are power-hungry devices in your home that maybe you don't need or don't necessarily have to have on when you've gone into backup power. And so that what the ASPI can trigger in your house is to say, I've lost mains, I'm now onto the backup power, and right now turn off all my heavy loads. And that's and this is where I particularly like the ASP, is that you can say, you know what, don't let anything more than 5 amps being drawn. So that's a kilowatt, but don't let anything that's more than 5 amps be plugged into this. And so you can control how your energy is consumed during the house to ensure that this backup provides you with the core essentials for as long as possible. So a lot of people are still working from home. A lot of people still want lights. I've got a small kid, and when he was a baby, I didn't want to be in the situation where I couldn't run the microwave to be able to heat up milk, to be able to give him something to eat at 2 o'clock in the morning, because I've got no power coming from the solar panels, but I need to make sure that my battery's got power in it. So the ASPI is a game changer from that perspective. It really elevates the automations that you can now do with the entire Astute range.
So this is like it's a beautiful unit, and I'm looking forward to this, and the fact that we are able to, have a lot of benefits about this, and For people who are always on the run and people who are not always at home, you are able to use the new Astute Range integration, which is the ASPI, to your benefit, where you are able to see exactly what is happening, even if you're not at home. That's an amazing benefit. Dr. Andrew, thank you so much for that. And you do stand a chance to win an amazing hamper. And I've been emphasizing we are nearly close to wrapping up. I just have a few questions that I want Dr. Andrew just to wrap up. In terms of the app, Dr. Andrew, there's someone who's asking, is there any subscription? I know there's no subscription to the app. You can further elaborate on that. There's no subscription that you need to pay for. Once you purchase the Astute Range, either whatever device that you pick, there is no subscription to that. There's no monthly fee. There's no joining fee. There is nothing. You just plug and play. Plug and pay, but remember, safety is important, especially when you want to do the installation. Let's talk about installation, Doctor. I think this is one of the most important elements that we need to discuss with our viewers. Let's talk about installation. If I'm going to purchase any of the Astute Range, I know most of us are able to install smart plugs. This is very easy, but what is your advice based on safety and safety protocols when it comes to installation?
So the general safety with that, and I will only advocate for it, is that you get a qualified electrician in to install any of the devices. Unfortunately, we think we know what we're doing at home, and particularly the DIY people out there, and there are many people out there who do it, but there is always the potential that something can go wrong. And so someone who is qualified, is knowledgeable in it, should always be brought on site to install these.
No, thank you so much for sharing all the amazing information and, something to enhance our everyday power management. This is something, energy management, that's something very important, especially with the cost of electricity nowadays. We need to make every buck count, if I can call it that. It needs to make sense. If you're getting a bill at the end of the month, there needs to be some form of comfort that at least I made a saving. And using the Astute Range, you are able to make a huge saving from your electricity bill. And also the ease of convenience. Trust me, convenience is one of the most beautiful things that you can, afford. That just give yourself that sort of blessing of convenience, which is amazing. And just to add on regarding the what do you call it? Sorry, I'm using my mind there. When it comes to the app integration, the safety part of it, you talked about the weather. This is one of just to wrap up before we can close. You talked about being able to understand the integration with the weather system on my phone. What are the safety measures that I can look out for? Do I need to give the app full location access, or I can just go on a random?
So for the most part, it's useful to give the app the idea of where you are. But when you set up, so when you first sign in and when you start adding devices to your network, you will generally tell it where it is. It's not that the app needs to track you all the time and know where you are all the time. All it needs to know is where the devices are installed. And that's not what house number you're at. It will ask you for your house number, but it doesn't need to know that. It just needs to know which city you're in. Because obviously, in order to gain sort of the valuable information to run those automations that we discussed earlier, to be able to trigger based on a weather event. So we spoke about sunrise, sunset, but it can also pick up information around humidity. It can also pick up information around rain. So there's a bunch of environmental conditions which the devices are able to understand based on your location and based on that. So imagine you use this to control, let's call it your sprinkler system.
Yes.
Right? But you're aware that there may be rain or rain has occurred. And so instead of just running the system, because again, I've driven past people where, it's rained for an hour beforehand, it's now finished raining and the system comes on and you're kind of going, this redundancy. And I mean, we know we've got a scarcity of water supply in the country in general. So, if we can take those actions just to save a little bit of the natural resources at the same time, these devices help you in that. So why not leverage that? And that's what I love about the beauty of the connectedness of these devices. So yes, it needs to know that you're in Joburg. It doesn't need to know
Yes.
exactly where you're in Joburg, but it needs to know you're in Joburg so that you are able to leverage that bit of information.
Perfect. So I can have peace of mind and at ease, and there's no subscription. The app is not gonna send you funny things. Then it's your
No,
data is protected, and that gives you a lot of peace of mind. And Dr. Andrew, thank you so much for that. I just wanted to just touch base on a few questions that people are addressing. I just wanna. Someone is actually asking, what do you call the device? So this is called the. If you go online, it's called CBI Astute Range. I've put a comment there on the. It's called the CBI-electric Astute Range. So that is the name of the range, and you will be able. It comes in three ways. So one of my favorite ones is I'm not being biased. So this is the CBI. Dr. Andrew is holding up one of the devices as well. So they one of them. So the CBI-electric Astute Range. I know you are aware of CBI, the company that makes our DB board, all the elements that we see on our DB board. That is the company that have come up with this brilliant product. And I just want to touch base on one more question. Let's see what other. Let's talk about price range, which is actually very important. This is available in many different retailers and distributors. You can find it at Take a Lot, you can find it in Macro, you can find it at Vortex, Leroy Merlin. You can also find it online. Buco has it as well. Chamberlain also has it as well. You can also the trick is that I always advise people always compare the prices because the different distributors have their own different prices as well. Please also compare the prices with the different distributors. And the amazing part is that you do stand a chance to win this amazing hamper. One of you is going to win an amazing hamper. And even if you don't win, it's okay. Black Friday is coming soon. Clock up on all these devices. This is worth your time. It's really, really worth your time. Is there any final words, Dr. Andrew, before we can call it, or we can wrap up?
So I think from my side, we've touched on you can start simple and grow the system. But
Yes.
to summate what the advantage of these products are is, firstly, it gives you an understanding of what your household, office, everything, what is actually being used. So what energy is being consumed. Then it gives you the basic control. So the ability to time things. And the timing is nice because it's not only the problem with traditional timers is they would be set and you'd forget them, but they would run every schedule on the same day or every day at the same time. There's no room for variation. Whereas with this, you can actually set it to activate on a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday. Or you can say during the working week, always turn this light on or off at this particular time. And on the weekends, you can do something completely different. So it's got flexible timing elements to it. And you can have a lot of those timing elements that can add. So it's not just a single one set. You can set it to switch on multiple times during multiple different days. So there's complexity even in the timing element. And then there's the automation side. And once you bring all of these elements together, you can start to really get an understanding of what your installation is doing and then control it so that you start to minimize your energy consumption. Obviously, you minimize your energy consumption, you minimize your costs. And as you said, for all South Africans, those costs are only going up. And so the ability to start to get an understanding of what they're doing now and how to benefit from what the automations can do. So, it's you don't want all the lights on when you're not home. But when you are home, you want to get to the point where in the evening, maybe you don't need most of them on, but you don't even have to get up from the couch. You don't even have to open your app necessarily, because by the time you've set everything up, it automatically does it for you. So come 8 o'clock, most of the lights are down. You can watch your movie, enjoy yourself. 10 o'clock, you can tell it to switch off everything so that you know it's time to go to bed. So that control, so that's what makes these products, they're really, really simple to use, but have an amazing amount of power behind them. And so, start small, grow it up. Once you start, you're not going to stop.
No, I love that. Start small and don't be intimidated. This is something that it's worth your time. you will, gradually learn the different automations and how the system works, which is actually the beautiful part. And it's such an easy system to use. One of the things that you need to be aware of, there's a question that someone actually just asked, that you do need Wi-Fi connectivity for all the devices to work. That is the most important part. In an event where there's no Wi-Fi, your plug will still work. You have to use it manually. That's the trick. And as mentioned, thank you so much for sticking around. You do stand a chance to win an amazing hamper. Here are the terms and conditions of this amazing giveaway. At the end of the live, please send me, I've opened up my DMs, please send me a direct message with the following answer. So the question to the answer that you need to provide is, what features of the Astute range can help you manage your electricity by sending a notification when your geyser has finished heating? I'm going to repeat that again. If one of my colleagues, if it's possible, is it possible to just to put the question on the comment section so that people can have a vision on that? What features of the Astute range can help you manage your electricity usage by sending a notification when your geyser has finished heating? We've discussed this. Dr. Andrew has also mentioned all of this. If you need help, you can go through my page. There will be some sort of hints here and there on there. And any other questions? I just want to just check if there's any other question. I think we've covered it. Oh, yes. Danny is asking, just before we wrap up, Danny is asking, am I still audible? Can you still hear me? Oh, perfect. Danny is still asking, does the app function, in terms of the app functionality, can it be controlled for anywhere? This is a beautiful question. I think this is something that I'm passionate about as well. Can you control this from anywhere? Dr. Andrew, please do the honors.
So there are two scenarios here that I want to paint that picture. One is yes. So as long as you are connected to the web, you can use the app wherever you are, and you don't have to be at your home for it. But obviously you need Wi-Fi to be active at home, and the device is connected to that. But it will tell you if it can't see a device, if there's no internet connection, it will tell you that it can't see your home. But yes, on the other side of that, and particularly, Ndie, you spoke about it at the beginning, is where you've got, say, aged parents or people who are maybe not as tech savvy, you're able to load their homes onto your app. And so as a result, you are able to now control the devices that are set up on their home network. And that's a really useful thing, because it does give you visibility of what that other installation is doing, but it also gives you the ability to control it. So, when a parent phones you, you can say to them, listen, don't worry, I'll switch your lights on. And via the app, you switch the lights on. You don't have to drive across there and find out that they've, accidentally done something that they shouldn't have done, so everything is off. But you can, through the app, get that information before you even get in the car, or you simply via the app turn things on. So you can do both scenarios, but yes, it can be from anywhere in the world. You can see exactly what your installation is doing, what plugs are on, what current's being drawn. It's great.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Just for the giveaway question, I'm just going to quickly type in the giveaway question while we're on there. And Dr. Andrew, please, you can add on any other information which is useful. Before we make that final buying decision of the Astute range, please just add on more information that will be useful for people as well. I know you said take it easy and don't be intimidated. So I just want to type my question on the phone so that the people are able to have the question as well. The giveaway question, which is important. You do stand a chance to win an amazing hamper. So I'm going to type the giveaway question on here, and then you will be able to answer the question. And the terms and the condition is that send me a direct message at the end of the live. My DMs are open so that you can give me the answer to the question. I'm giving you the question right now. Dr. Andrew, the floor is open.
So I think the whole thing with this, and to me, again, I kind of feel like I'm repeating myself, but we are all concerned about what electricity is costing us. And again, whether it's a direct cost from the likes of a City Power or an Eskom, or on the other side of it is whether you've spent time and money and effort to put up a solar installation, the ability to control how we use it and when we use that power becomes very essential for us to be able to actually make that either that energy transition or that cost transition to be able to save money. So the nice thing with this is that each device, though has its own speciality from an application perspective, can be used to drive this. And as you get a bigger and bigger picture, so as you install more devices throughout your installation, you are able to gain that control, that functionality, and ultimately that automation. The other thing with the automations, which I really like, is the ability to either set an automation which is executed automatically, and you can then have a intelligent notification that comes through that gives you a indication that an event has occurred and that the devices are switched on or switched off. Or alternatively, you can set it up to manually activate, but in that manual activation. So let's go back to, what, you've had a long week, you decide that you are gonna spoil your significant other, you're gonna get some popcorn and a movie on and everything else like that. And instead of having to run around and turn off all your lights or you have the ability to set up these scenes in the app. And so when you get round to it, you can actually set it in such a way that those will execute on a time basis. So you can say, I want this to be activated in 10 minutes, and it will execute on that. And so you can create a very, let's call it, nice environment, and be able to execute with that without even having to leave the couch. And so, it goes beyond just saving energy, timing devices, etc. It becomes something which is incorporated in your day-to-day life. And that's really what I like about it, is the convenience around that.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. I'm actually done now with the question. I'm going to repeat the giveaway question, which is the important part. The question says, what features of the Astute range can help you manage your electricity usage by sending a notification when the geyser has finished heating up? So basically, what feature is it? Like, what sort of feature is it that will allow you to be able to manage your electricity usage by sending notification when your geyser has finished heating up? So please, I've also posted it on the chat as well. Please remember to just send me a DM with your giveaway answer, and you do stand a chance to win this amazing thing. And the holiday season is coming, Christmas is coming. This is a perfect gift idea. Don't be ashamed to give someone a smart isolator. Trust me, it makes a perfect gift. Sorry, this is a smart plug. Sorry. Imagine gifting someone a smart isolator. This is a perfect gift idea for someone that you love, so that they can have peace of mind and also integrate their devices as well. Dr. Andrew, I think if just show by indication if we are all cool before we can wrap up and close it. Is there any other questions before we can close the session? Thank you so much, Dr. Andrew. It's just been a beautiful. How long? It's been a while. We've been doing this for a while.
It's been a while, Dee, and it's been a great conversation. And thanks for connecting. It's really been. It's fun to see what people can do and what people want to do, and it's great to have the opportunity to chat with you about it. So thank you.
So thank you so much. So this is a beautiful product. This is something that we need to have more of these conversations, that especially in the Republic, in South Africa, we do have affordable smart home solutions that will make sense. It's something that is easy to use as well, and you don't have to break bank when you get it. Thank you so much to the CBI team and to Dr. Andrew, and thank you so much to everyone who sticked around. If you do have any questions, please don't be afraid to send me a DM. Send me a direct message and say, based on the live session, ask me any question and I'll be able to assist you as far as I can. Thank you very much, everyone, and you must have an amazing, amazing evening. Thank you so much, Dr. Andrew.
Thanks, Indy. Take care.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.